assessment, assessment, assessment. Hello. So, you want to know more about the word assessment, right? Well, let's dive in. The part of speech for assessment is a noun, and it refers to the process of evaluating or judging something, like a person's skills or knowledge. In common usage, you'll often see it used in education settings, where it means giving students a test or quiz to check how well they've learned something. For example, the math assessment will take place next week. Here, we're talking about a specific test that will be given to students to evaluate their understanding of math concepts. It's also used in other contexts, like business or medicine, where it means evaluating performance or progress towards goals. A special note I want to mention is that assessment can sometimes imply a more formal or official evaluation, rather than just a casual check-in. So if you're using this word, make sure you understand the tone and context in which it's being used. In a formal setting, such as a university department meeting, you might say, "The assessment of our current curriculum shows that we need to revamp the program to better align with industry standards." This usage emphasizes the evaluation and analysis of a specific process or system. In contrast, in a casual conversation with a friend who's worried about an upcoming test, you might use it like this: "I'm so stressed about this math assessment on Friday. I hope I studied enough for it." Here, the word is used to refer to a formal evaluation or test, and conveys a sense of concern or anxiety. In a business or academic context, such as an investor meeting with a startup founder, you might say, "We've conducted an extensive market assessment to identify new revenue streams and areas for growth." This usage highlights the process of evaluating and analyzing data to inform strategic decisions. So you want to know about this concept? Okay, let me explain. Imagine you're at school and your teacher wants to get an idea of how well you've understood a certain topic or subject, right? That's what we call getting a snapshot of your knowledge or skills. It's like taking a picture of where you are, so that you can see if there's anything you need to focus on or catch up on. This process helps you identify areas you might be struggling with and shows you how far along you've come in learning something new. Think of it as a quick check-in point, not just to see what you know, but also to understand where you can improve or learn more. Benchmark. 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 So, you want to know more about the word benchmark, right? Well, let's break it down together. The part of speech for benchmark is a noun, and it can be both countable and uncountable. In common usage, a benchmark refers to a standard or level of quality that something must meet in order to be considered acceptable or successful. Think of it like a measuring stick for success. You might see this word used in business, education, or even sports, where people are trying to set high standards and measure progress towards those goals. What's really interesting about benchmark is that its usage has evolved over time. Originally, it referred to a physical marker or milestone on a road or trail, like a benchmark in surveying. But today, we mostly think of it as a way to gauge performance and quality, especially when comparing ourselves to others or tracking progress. In a formal setting, such as a conference presentation, you might say, "The company's sales figures have consistently surpassed industry benchmarks for the past 3 consecutive years, indicating a robust business model." This sentence uses the word benchmark to reference a standard or average performance level against which actual results are compared. The context is one of presenting data and findings in a professional setting. In casual conversation with friends, you might say, I just got back from that new rock climbing gym and I'm still reeling. Their top route was way beyond any benchmark I've ever attempted before. Here, the word benchmark is used to refer to a personal standard or level of achievement. The context is one of sharing experiences and comparing skills with others in a relaxed atmosphere. In business or academic writing, such as an article in a journal, you might say, our new algorithm has been shown to outperform existing methods for data compression by up to 30%, setting a new benchmark for future research. In this sentence, the word benchmark is used to refer to a standard or level of performance that others can strive for. The context is one of presenting technical results and implications in an expert audience. So, you're wondering what that tricky word means. Okay, think of it this way. When we want to measure something in terms of performance, quality, or standards, and we compare it to an established level or criteria, that's kind of like a benchmark. It's a standard against which other things can be evaluated. Mainly, it's used in situations where you need to assess whether someone or something meets the required expectations. Proficiency. 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 So, you want to know more about the word proficiency. Proficiency is a noun that refers to the ability to perform a task or activity with great skill and competence. In everyday usage, you might say someone has proficiency in a particular language, like English or Spanish, meaning they can speak, write, and understand it very well. You could also talk about having proficiency in a sport, like playing basketball or tennis, indicating that you're really good at it. One special note is that the term proficiency often implies a level of mastery that's higher than just basic understanding. Think more along the lines of fluency and accuracy, rather than just knowing some basic phrases. Here are 3 practical example sentences using the word proficiency, along with context explanations. When discussing advanced language skills, it's common to use the phrase proficiency in English. For instance, my university requires all incoming students to demonstrate proficiency in a second language before being accepted into their programs. In contrast, during a casual conversation with friends who are learning how to cook a new cuisine, someone might say, I'm still working on gaining proficiency in making the perfect sushi roll. It's all about getting the right balance of flavors and textures. Meanwhile, in a business setting, a company looking to expand into international markets might boast that their sales team has demonstrated exceptional proficiency in multiple languages, including Mandarin, Spanish, and Arabic, which has helped them tap into global customers. So, you want to know what proficiency means? Okay, imagine you're speaking with a native speaker of another language and you can hold a conversation easily, understand complex ideas, and even discuss sensitive topics without getting stuck. That's kind of what proficiency is. It's like being fluent in a language, but not just knowing the words, also understanding the culture and nuances behind them. It's about being able to communicate effectively and accurately, both in speaking and writing. Think of it as having a high level of mastery over the language. Now, when people talk about other similar concepts, they might say fluency or language skills. But proficiency is more specific. It means you're not just good at getting by with basic phrases, but you can really get things done in the language.